Stadium once stood. Well, tonight the Astros and Tigers will battle across town over at Comerica Park. Colin McHugh on the mound as the Astros look to rebound after a tough extra inning loss. Astros baseball starts right now.
Tigers to finally prevail in yesterday's Game 1 of this four-gamer, despite the heroics of Preston Tucker. Tonight, Colin McHugh has the assignment to get the Astros back to their winning ways. And it comes to you right here on Root Sports. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you, and we are set for this Game 2. Yesterday, Preston Tucker hit his first Major League home run, and what a moment it was.
Yeah, he's got a flair for the dramatic a little bit. First base hit, we tied up a game in Anaheim. First home run ties up a game here in Detroit. That'll make for a good story later on.
Kind of capped off the offense for the Astros yesterday. That was one of those late-inning offenses doing what they do.
Yeah, they just waited out David Price. He was dealing early on, I think 12 Ks on the game, but they got to him late. Springer with the base hit up the middle. Evan Gattis, how about a triple from Evan Gattis here at Big Comerica Park? But these were the two hits right here that sealed that inning for me. Was the two-out RBIs from Conger and VR making that three-run seventh. Then they came back later in that game off Jabba Chamberlain. Great AB by Springer, taking that pitch, going with it, getting to second base, driving in another run. But the big hit of the night was that long bomb to opposite field. Comerica ruining the night for Joakim Soria.
So Preston Tucker with that home run is starting to really do a lot of things. In the previous 6 games, he has also been raking pretty well.
Yeah, he's a good kid. We knew the bat was going to come with him. Now he's forced himself into that lineup the last 6 games, lighting it up, hitting about 420. But what I like to see is he's got 9 hits on the season. 5 of those are going for extra base hits. So that tells you that this kid has pop. But we've seen him hit a good fastball. We've seen him hit the knuckleball. We're going to see him hit some off-speed pitches. Just a great bat that stays to the zone a long time.
Coming up, Preston Tucker is just one of the young players starting to light up the Astros' present and future plans. What's the key to George Springer's recent ignition? Plummer and I will chat about it when we return.
In game 2 of a 4-game series, and what a beautiful day in downtown Detroit it is. Some locals playing some baseball at a neighborhood ballpark, but this isn't your average neighborhood ballpark. Where we stand right now is where Tiger Stadium stood for many years, home to the Tigers from 1912 to 1999. Can you believe Ty Cobb played right here? It's really cool stuff. Home plate's still there, of course. The famous flagpole, you can't move that out in center field. Obviously, it was torn down in 2009, but lots of memories still right here on this property. The Tigers actually play at Comerica Park down that way a little bit, and last night we saw a wild one as the Astros came back from a 5-0 deficit to tie the game, eventually losing in extras, but A.J. Hinch really pleased with the way his team hung in there, had quality at bats late in the game. We've seen the Astros do this all season long. As we look at our Honda League leaders, let's see how the Astros fare from the 7th inning on against other teams in the big league. Runs scored, number 1 with 78. Next to them is the Royals with just 66. And then Team OBP, Astros have been drawing walks. They're on that list. Team slugging, though, we've seen the power. .435 slugging percentage in those late inning games. Last night, they were going for what would have been their 13th come from behind win. Impressive stuff from these Astros. They never give up. And one player that we saw have a nice couple of games, George Springer, 4 for 8 in his last 2 after battling through some early tough at-bats, coming back to impress us later in the game. And for more on that, I'm going to send it to Jeff Blum over at Comerica Park.
Thanks, Julia. Nice view out there. Yeah, George Springer's been swinging the bat well. That's somebody in this Houston Astros lineup we need to see start lighting it up a little bit. We do put a lot of pressure on the kid, but it's because the talent is so great. But I'd like to see him let that ball get deep. You got to have some of those sneak over the first baseman, get some of those cheap hits, could lead to some big things. But that base it up the middle, and this one with 2 strikes going the other way is what I want to see from George Springer. He gets behind those counts, does a good job of going the other way. He can shorten up with 2 strikes and still be able to drive the ball and have those extra base hits. But what I also like, we talk about, is plate discipline. He does a fantastic job of getting ahead in the count, getting in those hitters' counts. But when he gets that fastball, I want to see him tear the cover off it.
Amen to that. 4 hits in the last 8 at-bats for George, couple of doubles. And today's starting lineup for the Houston Astros, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jose Altuve in that familiar top spot, followed Luis Valbuena, George Springer, Evan Gattis, Preston Tucker, Colby Rasmus, Chris Carter, Jason Castro, and Marwin Gonzalez in the rush, because we are ready to go. Jose Altuve all set to go now, as he'll face Alfredo Simon to start the night. Tigers picked up the victory in 11 innings yesterday. Quite a game it was, and Preston Tucker did have that very big hit. So we'll see who the hero is tonight as Altuve takes high. First pitch at 7:08. Beautiful evening. It has just turned into an afternoon that has been gorgeous. No clouds in the sky, nice and warm, and it was forecast to be rather chilly tonight. Pop up behind second base. It is Ian Kinsler with the play. 1 up, 1 down on the evening.
Get a look at Alfredo Simon for the Detroit Tigers, the big pasta. He's got himself a split finger, and he actually, rumor has it, has an ephus type split finger that'll throw out there about 70 miles an hour, so we'll be looking for that. Started all 8 starts. Doing a good job. Fastball, splitter, cutter, curveball. Likes to throw all pitches all the time.
And he's dominated right-hand hitters, but the lefties have gotten to him this year. And the Astros have loaded up with left-handed bats here this evening, and that figured to be the case. Left-hand batters hitting .306 on the year, while the righties are just at .172. That one nowhere close. Yeah, I've got to see an ephus pitch at 70-ish miles an hour. That's going to be intriguing.
What's interesting is everybody that's been an Astro fan for a while has seen that Roy Oswalt curveball that he could flip in there at the low 60s.
Yep.
That was not a fun pitch to be playing behind at third base with a right-handed hitter up.
I played with a guy, Dave LaRoche, who had a true ephus pitch, as this one is hit in the air, left center field. Long run for Cespedes, who gets there to make the play. A couple of balls hit in the air, and 2 outs here in the first inning.
Here at Comerica Park, you're going to see what the Detroit Tigers are going to go out there with. Yoenis Cespedes out left. Anthony Goshen center field, covering a lot of ground, and ex-Astro J.D. Martinez in right. On the left side of the infield, Nick Castellanos at third base. Jose Iglesias at short. Ian Kinsler at second. Miguel Cabrera at first base. and James McCann will be back behind home plate.
And back on Simon briefly. Right-hand hitters yet to go deep on him this year. All 4 home runs he's allowed have come to left-handed bats. George Springer right after one, and that's a little bit, I think, of what you and I want to see with George, is some more good vicious cuts.
Yeah, because if he squares one up, it's going to go flying.
He has been drawing walks this year, but at the same time it has seemingly made him a little more cautious at the plate. Patient would be a word some people would use.
Cautiously patient.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we saw him take a strike 3 yesterday that was pretty much splitting the plate and jumping away, and you don't want to see that happen with George. Center fielder Ghost playing a bit toward left field as George puts it on the ground. Going to be a tough play. Castellanos with the play, not even close. George Springer able to leg it out, and now 5 hits over his last 2+ games, so maybe starting to put something together.
And I don't care, hits are hits, especially when you're struggling, hovering around that Mendoza line. He'll take anything he can get. You saw him in Houston get blown up, bat in pieces, but he ended up getting a double out of it right here. Nubs one off the end of the bat. But the fact he's putting the ball in play, his speed is going to get him some knocks like it did right here, which is huge. But when you see that batting average climb up the ladder a little bit, get a little more comfortable at home plate.
Yeah, the big fella can really run, and again, that play not even close. So 2-out single for Springer. He's aboard for Evan Gattis, who came up with his 2nd career triple in yesterday's game.
I wonder if he got the baseball.
I was waiting for him to pick up third base and say, I am now the greatest.
Still Ricky Henderson on us. That'd be awesome.
Gattis the DH tonight, hitting just 196. And, well, there are some of those numbers in this Astros lineup, and yet they have been finding a way.
They've been winning with those guys hitting 200 and below. Granted, the hits they do get are usually going out of the ballpark for RBIs, but if these guys can get hot enough and start hovering around that 250 mark, imagine how many runs they drive in.
And at some point, one of these guys in the middle, and you hope it's George Springer and others that follow suit, that they're able to find that stroke and start bringing it. When they do, you would figure this offense would be considerably better than they've been, and they've been pretty darn good.
Lead the league in home runs and stolen bases.
62 long balls. Stolen bases 39 on the year. Caught 11 times. But as a club, hitting just 230. And that's dead last in the American League. They're 13th in on-base percentage. Much better, though. And you would figure so with the home runs in terms of the slugging. They're 5th in the league. So it's a unique offense. It's one that is hard to figure at times. But yesterday, a classic kind of a day as Springer bluffs down at first base. 3 balls and no strikes. They were just getting mowed down by David Price. And it looked like it was going to be one of those really tough days, trailing 5-0. But the bats, come the 7th inning, came alive.
And I think that's a stat you can't quantify. It's just something that happens in that dugout. Guys' mentality changes a little bit and they get it done.
Little shallow fly ball right center field coming on. J.D. Martinez, and makes a nice running grab. And that'll do it. 2-out single by Springer. He's stranded. Colin McHugh getting ready for the bottom of the 1st. Comerica Park here in Detroit, and it's a beautiful ballpark. The fans come out. They love their Tigers here in the Detroit area. The lineup for the Detroit Tigers tonight: Brad Ausmus, the skip, has Anthony Gose with all that speed in the top spot, followed by Ian Kinsler. He's at second base. Then first baseman Miguel Cabrera. Middle three, former Astro J.D. Martinez. He's in right. Left field, Yoenis Cespedes and Nick Castellanos at third base. And the bottom three, the DH is Rajai Davis. Doing the catching, hero yesterday with the 11th inning walk-off home run, James McCann. Jose Iglesias at shortstop. And Colin McHugh set to work it. First pitch, a fastball that sails away. Anthony Gose can fly. Got a great throwing arm from the outfield, and we've seen him use that speed to just glide to baseballs as McHugh falls behind.
I would imagine it being a GM here in Detroit with this ballpark, you've got to have a pretty good idea of what you want out there in center field as far as speed. You need somebody that can track it down, because there is some serious real estate out there.
420 to straightaway center, and probably more so than any other ballpark that I can think of, that 420 just extends and probably expands toward the gaps in left and right center field. There's a strike. It's 3-1. Houston is huge straight away, but that depth probably doesn't last as much as it does here at Tiger Stadium. And now the count filled at 3-2. Not a guy you want to walk to start the game.
That's what you're talking about right there, Ash. Kind of a flat 420 out there,
yep,
as opposed to Minute Maid. It's about 435, 436 to a point out in center field.
And the 3-2. Ground ball, a couple of big hops toward Altuve, and out number one. And not a bad one to get with Gose being retired.
There's Colin McHugh, starting for the Astros, 9th start of the season. High ERA, but that whip still relatively low, 1.1. Still rebounding from that start he had against San Francisco, where he gave up 7 earned runs. Pitched well last time out against Toronto, going 7 strong, giving up 2 earned runs. Had 9 strikeouts. That's a typical Colin McHugh game. First time pitching here at Comerica Park.
Colin's high on strikeouts this year, 11 that he picked up against Oakland in a 6-1 win. That came back his second start of the year, April 15th. And he can get on one of those rolls where he'll strike out quite a few guys. Won't overpower generally with the fastball, but good breaking stuff as he faces Ian Kinsler. And Kinsler, though he hasn't gone deep this year, off to a nice start, hitting .309. And a good player for a long time, still runs well. We talked about it yesterday. 6 stolen bases in 6 tries. Check swing grounder. Carter with the play, and 2 outs here in the first.
Saw Chris Carter at first base. He made a great play last night out there in the outfield. A little bit different. Preston Tucker getting the appearance in left field. Colby Rasmus in center field. George Springer in right field. Luis Valbuena and Marwin Gonzalez on the left side. Jose Altuve, Chris Carter on the right. Castro the Astro working with Colin McHugh.
With 2 down, and there's Preston Tucker. You can see how that sun can be a factor out in left field. Even center field has Colby Rasmus completely in sunlight. Miguel Cabrera lines one down the right field side. It's a fair ball into the corner. Miguel Cabrera doing what he does, but now the throw from Springer not in time, just a bit offline. It's a 2-out double for Cabrera.
Big man can hit. Fastball away, just go with it. We talked about how well he can drop the barrel on the ball. Lets it get deep. This isn't one of those mistakes. He means to drive the ball that way.
Exactly. I was going to ask you, is there anybody else in the game that can do what Cabrera does, hitting the ball the other way with authority as well as he does? Cleanup man J.D. Martinez at the plate. J.D. snapped an 11-game hitting streak yesterday. Big, strong right-hand hitter, former member of the Houston Astros. Wound up going 0 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts yesterday. And that batting average at .258 overall. Has 8 long balls on the year, 18 runs driven in. Tigers without Victor Martinez. Bothered by a sore left knee. He is now on the DL. And that's very costly, and yet they are still quite a formidable offense. You look at Yoenis Cespedes waiting on deck, and they've got a pretty good murderer's row of their own.
They need Victor Martinez healthy. A healthy Victor Martinez in this lineup gives him so much depth.
That fastball apparently got a little bit of the uniform of J.D. Martinez. Down at second base, Miguel Cabrera started jogging off toward the third base dugout. And I don't know, I guess there's timeout once a batter is hit. So kind of a safe haven, but I don't know what Miguel was up to.
Barely.
Boy, that's got to hurt.
Be icing that later.
Not an easy game when you have to ice your D after your first at bat.
You have to go in there and change jerseys.
So 2 runners aboard for Yoenis Cespedes, who takes a strike. Cespedes hitting an even .300, had a big day yesterday. 5 dingers on his year, 23 runs driven in. Born in Cuba, and one of the numerous now Cuban defector players that have made such an impression in the United States. He's hit .319 lifetime against the Astros with 6 home runs, all in 29 games. Mentioned yesterday, 3 for 3 with a double, couple of walks, perfect day, and jumped the batting average by 13 points. And there's that curveball that Colin uses so effectively. Records his first strikeout. That does it for the Tigers as they leave a couple on base. Preston Tucker coming up in the second inning for the Astros. Yesterday, Preston Tucker, who leads off in the second inning, had himself a rather memorable swing.
He's had a couple. That first hit, first major league home run, have both been memorable. Tied up that ball game in Anaheim before the Astros came back and won that game in Anaheim. I thought they were on the same road last night when he tied it up with that bomb. And we were on the field talking beforehand, and ex-teammate, ex-Astro David Newhan is the assistant hitting coach for the Detroit Tigers. Had really good things to say about Preston Tucker.
He likes what he sees with the path of the bat.
He really does, and he actually, David Newhan was a manager, I think, in Lake Elsinore. Saw him when he was coming through with Lancaster, but really likes his swing, likes the pop.
Well, I think a lot of folks feel the same way in Houston. 2 balls and no strikes. Alfredo Simon on the hill. Preston Tucker is off to a .310 start in the major leagues, now with a home run, 4 RBIs, already 9 hits. Feels like that first hit in Anaheim that you talked about just happened the other day. He's had a 2-hit game in the big leagues. He's had a 3-hit game. Each of those came against the Toronto Blue Jays on the recent homestand. And in each of those games, he had a pair of doubles. So as Blummer has talked about today, extra bases being a big key in terms of what Tucker's done with the bat. And now full count.
Attaboy, let it eat. 3-1, get you a fastball in the zone. Attack.
Look, if you're going to get a green light, you're not trying to flare one the other way. Or shouldn't be. See the shift. Simon works it to McCann, his catcher, and the fastball is fouled down the left side. Now, a lot of left-hand hitters in particular don't get to that high fastball. But Tucker's got a way at times of kind of bringing the bat directly to the ball on that high heater.
No batting gloves. Like it.
He is old school. I mentioned on the homestand that kind of George Brett reference. And again, the pitch fouled back just below us. Grab some dirt. Get a little pine tar on there.
It's good TV tape on the wrists, too.
Yeah, it is. Those are, back in the day, we called them power bands.
There you go.
What'd you guys call them?
Well, that was before TV, but now they call them TV tape.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much. That is so accurate and so mean at the same time.
Sorry. Oh, man.
It's popped up. Left side of the infield. Backing is Iglesias. And out number 1 here in the second inning.
Did you say George Brett?
Yeah, I think I did.
This is the first one of the year, I think.
Bring it, George. Bring it.
How do you really feel about it, George? I hope he had a good dinner after this event. That is great. Just unloaded on Tim McClellan.
I wonder if they all had a good laugh together the next day.
I was going to say, because that's usually how the rotation works. Home plate umpire goes down to third base. Could you imagine that conversation?
Yeah, I don't think it worked all out there for George Brett until the league stepped in and said, no, the home run stands. And at that point, I think the umpires really had their issues with things. Colby Rasmus at the plate.
May have saved McClellan's life by calling that a home run later.
Would the world have still been the same if George Brett had not gotten that home run?
Depends on what world you live in.
Yeah, I don't know. Could you rob a home run from George Brett because he had pine tar up the barrel? I don't know.
They're kicking pitchers out of games for having pine tar on their neck.
That is true. That is true.
Seems only fair.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Colby Rasmus. Just the second inning. Hope you join us for the evening. The Astros still in first place. Took one on the chin yesterday, but they are not reeling. They are ready to go. 5.5 games in front of second place LA. The Angels at 21-20. The Astros 27-15. 7-3 over their last 10. Seattle is 8 back. Texas 8.5. And the Oakland A's, the mighty Oakland A's, 13.5 games back of these Houston Astros. Changeup got him. Little split job on the changeup.
That's what we've heard about Big Pasta, is he can go out there and throw that split finger. There's a look at the American League West. Astros holding on. It was a rough night for the American League West. But I think yesterday's game, the ability of the Astros to come back in that game after, like we said, the first 6 innings they had no runs and 1 hit, yet they came back and tied it in those last 3 innings. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, the Texas Rangers, the only team from the West that is not on a losing skid right now. And 3 of the teams have lost 1. But the Rangers have won 2 straight. They're 18-23. I don't know if the division is starting to kind of fall into place. I'm not sure yet what I think the Oakland A's might be able to do this year. Strike called on the outside edge. 0-2 on Chris Carter. Carter has to be another one of the guys that we're talking about, and you mentioned it, needing somebody or some people to step up in the heart of this order and make something happen more on a regular basis. McCann got beat up on that one.
Gosh, and the foul tip earlier in this at bat squared him up too.
Of course, he's feeling pretty good after the walk-off home run to win it yesterday.
True.
Carter went hitless yesterday, a long 0 for 5, just 1 strikeout. And there it is again from Simon.
Come on, throw the eephus. I want to see it.
Carter came into yesterday's game with hits in 5 of his last 6 games, but in each one of those cases, just 1 hit. So at no point has it felt like, here it comes. The bat's starting to really get hot. 2-2, chopped foul.
And we saw it get hot last year in an amazing way. I mean, for a man to finish the year hitting 225 or so was impressive to us because he got off to such a rough start like he is this year. But is he going to be able to repeat that performance that he had last year is the question.
Huge question mark. Has a 2-2 count, batting average at 161, and he taps 1 foul.
It was a good job of fighting off that pitch. That pitch was called a strike earlier in the at bat. Tough little slider cutter at 89.
There you see the ballpark. It's a very nice one. It's not ideal for hitters if you tend to hit the ball towards center field in the gaps. Carter down on strikes, so that'll do it. A couple of strikeouts for Simon in the 2nd inning. We played 1.5 and we're scoreless in Detroit. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare right now at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new buttery Jack Burgers at Jack in the Box with melted garlic herb butter. Or is it herb butter?
Soft H.
To the bottom of the second we go. Nick Castellanos, the third baseman for the Tigers, leading it off. He'll be followed by Rajai Davis and James McCann. And the pitch hit in the air right field. Easy for Springer. George puts it away, out number 1 on 1 pitch. Rajai Davis, the DH tonight. He was in right field for yesterday's game. The umpires for tonight's game, by the way. Jerry Lane behind the plate. He's the crew chief. Hunter Wendelstedt is at first. Bob Davidson at second. And Ryan Blackney, or Blakeney, down at third. I guess that's Blakeney.
Depends on how mad you're at him. If you get mad at him, you call him Blakeney.
Josh Fields might have a Blakeney right about now.
It's a real good chance. That thing apparently hit him right in the side of the knee.
Yeah, you and I, we just couldn't tell. I from up here in the booth yesterday, it looked like maybe the hammy, or
I was hoping for a little more meat like the hamstring or the quad, but it happened so fast.
Check swing by Rajai.
Guys had actually got him on the bone, but it was on the outside. The x-rays they took were negative, so he was pretty lucky. Very, very sore yesterday and sore today, but they wanted him to take part in all the activities, just to go out there and give it a try and see how he felt. I don't think he's available today. I don't think AJ wants to say that, but should be good in the next couple of days. Bone bruise is what they're saying.
Well, the good news is AJ didn't say it. Julia Morales did, and
don't tell
counts
Brad
at 2 and 2.
Yeah, hopefully Brad doesn't have his earpiece in listening to the game.
You know what, though? Brad Osmus has been known to listen in to us this year.
Oh, boy.
So, good work, Julia. We'll make sure and let Brad know that you've got more information coming later in the night. 2-2. Sliced foul down the right side. See what happened on that line drive that caught Fields yesterday.
Plug your ears.
Ouch.
I think I saw him walking to dinner like that last night.
Oh. Ooh, that hurts just to watch.
He might have Rob Manfred's signature on the side of his knee, too. That ball was smoked.
Ground ball past Chris Carter as he tried to dive to knock it down. One out single for Rajai Davis, and watch out for the running game now.
I think Rajai was trying to shoot the ball that way the whole time against Colin McHugh. We saw a check swing, fouled one off when he was on a pitch outside. It was kind of questionable because that ball was middle up. Did a good job of tomahawking that one the other way. But like you said, Ash, he's going to be off to the races here pretty quick.
Rajai loves to run. We saw him steal third base yesterday. Held on by Carter. James McCann at the plate. And so you figure at some point we'll see Rajai Davis on the move. Got 10 stolen bases in 11 tries this year. Stole 36 last year. Last year, his first year as a member of the Tigers. He has a high mark of 50 bags. That came back in 2010 with Oakland. McCann hitting .289. A couple of home runs now in the major leagues for McCann. And his first major league home run came as an inside the park job yesterday. Just launched one out to the bullpen area in left field to walk it off. Ground ball left side. Rajai Davis had started and then headed back to the bag and didn't even move to second. And the Astros get the 6-4-3 double play. That'll do it. First double play on either side. 2 scoreless.
And going for the Detroit Tigers, we saw a nasty split finger to Colby Rasmus to get that punch out. And that explains why he's throwing it so much more. He's got good control of it, able to get to that 2-strike count. And you can see he loves using that split finger, using it almost twice as much this year in 2015 with the Detroit Tigers. His first year with the Detroit Tigers, so maybe they're onto something and recommended it to him, but it's working.
Here in the third inning, Jason Castro, Marwin Gonzalez, and Jose Altuve. Scoreless ball game. The Astros with one hit, infield style from George Springer. And the Tigers have a pair of hits against Colin McHugh. The Astros have turned the only double play of the night. Simon has struck out a pair. He got Colby Rasmus and Chris Carter to end the second inning.
Ooh. A little floater.
Could that have been it?
No, it was 83, but it kind of fluttered out of his hand.
Ball and a strike on Castro. Jason hitting .217. Ball hit into right center field. Nobody's going to get to this one. It's going to go to the wall. Extra bases for Castro. And he stops at second base. Might have had a shot at three. A leadoff double here in the third inning.
This is a hanging split. We saw the sign for McCann. He kind of wiggled the fingers down there, which means he wants the changeup or split finger in this instance with Simon. He left it out over the plate. Castro, after that day off yesterday, pretty comfortable with the double.
Second hit for the Astros. And sixth double on the year, as you see for Jason. Marwin Gonzalez, the 9-hitter, will stand in. Is it move him up time?
I think with a left-handed hitter like Marwin who can handle the bat, you let him pull it.
This foul ball right below Jeff Blum, hanging out the window.
I'm ready.
A.J. Hinch, what's he thinking? Just go ahead and let Marwin, a smart player, do his thing and try to get the runner over?
It's one of those situations where it could turn into a get him over, or get him over, get him in if he gets a base hit. But I'm sure Marwin's mentality right now is somehow, some way, get around that pitch and yank it to that right side.
Turns to bunt. Takes one down and in.
Did you see that pitch?
Did you see that stat that came up? I actually, we'll go ahead and go with your question first, since you asked first.
It was nasty. Watch this thing fall off the table. That's that split.
Oh, yeah.
Good grief.
Okay, so my question was, did you see that stat? 1.2% of the time Marwin draws a walk this year.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well, I'm saying he's not walking a whole lot right now.
He doesn't play every day.
Well, that's true.
Got to swing it.
Bunt is on the third base side. The out, if recorded, is on the first, or is back at first base. And moving into third, Jason Castro. So a nice sacrifice bunt with one out, top of the order. And that first potential run of the night, 90 feet away.
Not sure if the sign was on, but I like the fact that A.J. gave Marwin a shot early in the count to maybe try and drive him in. But after that first strike, whether Marwin did it himself or if A.J. put it on, a smart play to move him over, get Altuve up there with the guy at third base.
Jose Altuve continues the struggles now, hitting .305 with 5 dingers. Did you ever struggle that bad?
You can't say that. Doesn't make any sense.
Jose fouls it back. Well, I bet if you talk to Jose right now, you would have it confirmed pretty quickly that he's not feeling red hot.
Yeah, if anybody you can say that about, it's definitely this guy right here.
He was hitting .338 after game 2 of that 4-game set with the Toronto Blue Jays on the recent homestand. And again now at .305. So I think he would probably say it's time to get hot. Infield drawn in, line drive, and Kinsler's right there. Oh, that hurts. Trying to put that first run on the board. The Astros have been statistically so good when they jump in front in a ball game.
Tough luck. suffering from a case of adenitis.
18-2 when they score first, and that line drive couldn't get it done. So Simon gets a fortunate second out. Altuve is going to just have to sit and think about it. And now it's in the hands of Luis Valbuena. Batting average at .209. You see the 10 big home runs. So he's been quite the dichotomy, I guess you'd say. Not a whole lot of hitting, but when he does, it's been quite powerful. Shift on. Valbuena has shown an ability to hit the ball to left field, but it's been in the air. Even Anthony Gose in center field is shading a bit toward right center.
Yeah, the Tigers are proving to be a team that's not afraid to shift either. Seen some pretty exaggerated shifts against these Astros.
Did you happen to talk with Brad Ausmus about that today?
I didn't have a chance to ask him, but I talked to David Newhan about it a little bit. And the reason I brought it up with David Newhan is because the third baseman is out there in shallow right field as opposed to the second baseman. You get a chance to see some of the notes that are in the dugout that explain what they're trying to do or what guys' tendencies are. Saw the left-handed pitcher chart on the left-hand side, the right-handed pitcher on the right-hand side. Interesting.
That splitter has been up a few times tonight. Pretty good spot to be able to handle.
Yeah, you want to hit those hangers. Get the mistake. But the reason he puts that third baseman out there in right field is because he wants to leave his shortstop in a natural shortstop position. His second baseman stays in a natural second base position. Just put that poor third baseman way in the heck out there in right field. Make him run.
Let him run back and forth. Well, he's the youngster, so let him get that detail. And now 2-2 the count. Scoreless game here in the third. He's young and strong, grows a mean beard, and
trying to figure out where he's at right now.
Yeah, he was kind of glancing around. Shadows now starting to cover the field. Well, if this is the cold night, we're in good shape here in Detroit.
I agree.
Valbuena taps one on the right side. There's Kinsler, who drops it and now can't make a play. And so the Astros do get on top. It's an E4, provides the run for Houston. 1-0 Stros on top.
That doesn't typically happen with Ian Kinsler out there. This ball nubbed. Watch Valbuena. Doesn't break very hard out of the box, but as soon as he recognized Ian booted that ball. Sometimes when you charge in like that and you're moving and the ball is moving, it's tough to square it up. And when you're charging in like that and you don't take a couple steps to gather yourself, your hands get a little hard going after that baseball, and that's what happened right there.
It's a good lesson for all ball players. Go hard out of the box no matter what. In fact, you probably apply more pressure when you do go hard. So the Astros catch a break to get on top as Springer stands in.
And again, gets a good fastball in the zone, ready to swing it, takes a good pass at it.
Looked like that ball may have gotten in on him just a bit. 1 for 1 on the night. Tapped a little roller down the third base line in the first inning and beat it out. That batting average now at .211 for George. Is that one of those high strikes? Should be high strikes?
That was questionable right there. Because it's like a hanging breaking ball that doesn't break as much as you think it does. It still comes down, but it doesn't come down in the zone.
You know, if George starts hitting that pitch, I think he'll get to everything. Drive center field. Gose on the move. Will not get there. One hop up against the wall. Here comes Valbuena. Digging to the plate. The throw goes to third. And so George Springer has a run producing double. And the Astros lead it 2-0 here in the third.
2 hits again. That's 3 games in a row right now for George Springer with 2 hits. And this ball smoked to center field. You talked about the hanging split not being called a strike, and he got an elevated split again, it looked like, hanging out over the plate at 85 miles an hour, and it's a taser to center field. Great path, direct to the ball, stays through it nicely. And if you hit a ball over Ghose's head here in Comerica, you're doing something.
Amen.
How big is that error from Kinsler right now?
2 runs already on that error, both unearned, but the Astros couldn't care less. Pick up every one you can get.
And what'd you say about the Astros when they score early or score first?
18-2, I believe, was that figure.
It's looking good right now.
How does that happen? You score first in a ball game and you go 18-2. Does that make sense to you?
With the pitching that the Astros have, maybe. Because there's guys that go out there, they get that early lead, they pitch to that lead and get guys out. Then you hand it off to that bullpen, it usually leads to a win.
Okay. The Astros are 3rd in the American League in team ERA at 3.50. So they're among the best. And I believe they are still number 2 when it comes to the bullpen. Kansas City has been lights out.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to compete with them. They are lights out.
Altuve lines out with the infield drawn in for the 2nd out, but then the error leads to a pair of runs, and that's all they're going to get now. As in left field, Cespedes makes the play, and that'll do it for Houston. But 2 big unearned runs in the 3rd inning. 2-0 Houston.
As you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Colin McHugh back on the mound with a 2-run lead here, and it was good for him to bounce back in that last start, guys. He wanted to right things immediately after that shaky start, and he did, throwing 7 innings of 2-run ball, 9 punch-outs over Toronto, and he's already looking for a 6th win at this point. But the outings have not come easy for McHugh. Some nights he just didn't have it, had to battle his way through 6 or 7 innings, and McHugh said, when you're on a team that's doing everything they can to hang in there and win ball games late, you got to do whatever you can to do the same to keep your team in it. McHugh has absolutely loved pitching for this team. He's having a great time watching the offense behind him.
Thanks, Julia. And Colin falls behind, but I think Julia jumps right on something there that is very true, maybe more true than a lot of people would really guess, as this one is fouled down the left field side. 9-hitter Jose Iglesias at the plate, and that is that a lot of times, whether you're a pitcher or a hitter or whatever the case is, you don't have it on a given night, so you have to really do something to make something positive happen. That curveball is fouled off on the bunt attempt.
Good curveball.
How many times in 30 starts does a pitcher have his A game, his best stuff? Yeah, it's a tough one for you.
I was going to say, you would have a better idea catching it. I mean, there's nights where you see a guy go out there and deal, and you'll go congratulate him and say, wow, you were on it today. And he'd give you the answer. I had no idea where my fastball was going. I didn't have a feel for my changeup, yet he went out there and threw a quality start out there.
How many times I talked to a guy coming out of the bullpen to start a ball game, And he'd say, I got nothing tonight.
That instills a lot of confidence.
Yeah, come up with something for me. Help me out. And it's kind of routine as this one is lined into right field. Iglesias is really having himself quite a start to the year. This guy has been known as a terrific defensive shortstop, but I think it's going to expand beyond that.
This is that cutter that stayed up and flattened out a little bit. Get to look inside the numbers for Colin McHugh. Last couple of years, that ground ball rate is rising for him. That BABIP is those balls put in play, and that line drive percentage is going down. So that 301 average tells me that some of those ground balls happen to be seeing eye ground balls, maybe a little bit of bad luck mixed in there.
Bunt attempt, first base side, a very good bunt, and that's going to result in a base hit. Colin McHugh simply could not beat Anthony Gose, and I'm not sure there's a pitcher in baseball that could. It's a bunt single, back-to-back hits, nobody out, runners at first and second for Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, much like you tip your cap when a pitcher makes a nasty pitch on a corner to punch you out, this right here was perfection. You just have to tip your cap to Anthony Gose for laying down one of the better bunts you're going to see. No way to defend that.
Nope. No, that's perfect. And now a lot of speed aboard. Iglesias at second, Gose at first base. 2-0 Houston. Two-hitter Ian Kinsler at the plate. By the way, I just want to confirm the Astros are, as a bullpen, second best in the American League at 220. Kansas City is insane at 161, the ERA for their pen. And the Kansas City Royals, by the way, keep on winning. I don't know, are bullpens becoming as big of an item as anything you talk about? Kansas City at 26-14 now have the best record in the American League, percentage points ahead of Houston. Kinsler out in front, fooled. It's 0-2.
I think GMs are building their ball clubs with the bullpen in mind more than they used to.
Well, the Astros did that this offseason.
Yeah, they want their pitchers to go 6 strong, and then 7, 8, and 9th. They want that bullpen to come out and shut it down.
Okay.
There's no incentive on those guys to go 9 innings every game now.
What is more important then on the free agent market or trades, a starting pitcher or a bullpen guy?
Depends on who's in your rotation. If you've already got a solid rotation, you go out and get that back into the bullpen.
But still fair to say that when you're putting a club together that you expect to win, you got to go after some starters that are going to be difference makers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the starting rotation is where it starts, because if you don't have those leads going into the later innings, Dave Dombrowski for the Detroit Tigers you just saw there.
He's a good one too.
Well, he's had issues building those bullpens. He's had the great starting pitching over the years. It's that back end that keeps losing the games.
Kinsler gets a piece, stays alive. Jeff Luhnow and his staff deserve a lot of credit for this bullpen that's been put together, and for acquisitions like Colin McHugh.
It's not too often you can go out there on the waiver wire and pick up a quality starter like they found in Colin McHugh.
Then look around the field right now. Luis Valbuena, Colby Rasmus in center field. Fly ball left field toward the line comes Tucker. Runners will have to hold on out number 1. That's a nice way to pick up that first out. Notable waiver claims. And we've got 2 starting pitchers tonight that are right at the top of this list.
It's pretty interesting.
Of course, Colin McHugh picked up a couple of years ago. Alfredo Simon the year before that. And then you have to go back to Jarrett Wright, Jeff Juden, and Eric Stultz.
Eric Stultz, I think, is making a start tonight for somebody. I saw that in one of the lineups that came up on some of those Twitter feeds. But Jarrett Wright was all right back in 2003.
Not an easy guy to face right now, Miguel Cabrera, as he bats with runners at first and second. Tigers down a pair of runs. .340 that batting average, 10 dingers, 31 RBIs. Oh, by the way, on base percentage of .440. That on base percentage, best in the majors. That curveball can be devastating.
It's good when he starts that curveball hard and down. But look at the hit chart at home for a great hitter in Miguel Cabrera here at Comerica. This is his home yard for quite a while now. 278 hitting at home this year. See those pitches being spread all over the place. It's interesting to see a couple of home runs, doubles going the other way. I think when he gets here in Comerica, he likes to drive that up ball the other way because that's a little bit closer porch, and he has the obvious pop to go that way.
I think you were talking about it yesterday, Plummer, that right field is really the hitter's nice place to go here, but not for a right-hand hitter. Cabrera makes it an easy living that way. Easy might not be the right word, but he takes advantage of the best spot of this ballpark.
It is, and he's blessed enough to be able to make that adjustment and go that way, and with authority too.
Oh, and to the count. Yeah, there just aren't many hitters with that kind of ability. But then again, we look back to last year and George Springer, that first home run in the major leagues that went to right field and went out easy on a line. Unique talent.
Yeah, very. And then Preston Tucker just throws a major wrench in our entire theory and goes up there left-handed and goes oppo taco.
Yeah.
With ease.
And down on strikes, Miguel Cabrera, and he takes a glance back as if to say, where'd you come up with that pitch?
Not sure what's going on. He's got sunglasses on, I think. I'm not sure if the shadows are messing with him, but it's uncharacteristic to see a guy like Miguel Cabrera miss a pitch by that much. See him looking at the batter's eye, maybe? Or Colin McHugh going, man, you got me with that one.
So 2 outs. J.D. Martinez at the plate. And he hammers one left field at the foul pole. Fair or foul? It's a foul ball.
This is a good old-fashioned ambush right there by J.D.
No doubt about the distance.
Sometimes guys will go up there, some key situations with runners in scoring position, sit on that one pitch, and we know that Colin's feeling pretty good about his breaking ball right now. JD may have sat on it, got it, just got a little quick on it. That ball was crushed. That would have been disappointing after striking out Miguel Cabrera to get to 2 outs.
That swing right there, a response that Cabrera didn't have on the breaking ball. This one's busted to right field, and it gets out of here. Opposite field home run, number 9 on the year for J.D. Martinez. It comes with 2 outs, and the Tigers take the 3-2 lead here in the 3rd inning.
Wonder if that foul ball on the breaking ball changed Colin McHugh's mind at all. J.D. Martinez guessed right on that first one, yanked the breaking ball. This time, it's a fastball center cut. And we just talked about how right-handers, if they have the pop, it's a good time to drive it out the other way here at Comerica, and J.D. Martinez unloaded. Good piece of hitting.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you could talk about that guessing game, that you've taken the curveball, busted it, but fouled to left field. How that kind of goes back and forth between pitcher and hitter, and what a hitter's thinking. We'll have to do it later as Cespedes puts it in the air to left field. Preston Tucker makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Tigers. But a big 2-out, 3-run home run by J.D. Martinez has the Tigers on top.
tour Minute Maid Park and enjoy an Astros game on Saturday, May 30th. For tickets, visit astros.com/welcome to Houston or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. We're still getting to know Preston Tucker, who's going to lead off for us right here. And we like what we see so far. We like that first major league home run yesterday. Got to chat with him about that a little bit. The home run ball is safely in his backpack, of all places. Not sure where he's going to put it yet. But guys, the interesting part is the situation that he was in last night. I asked him, how much were you thinking about your approach at that time? He said, I really didn't have time to think. And I really didn't know this ballpark either going into that at bat. We didn't get to take BP before the game. Wasn't sure how the ball would carry here. And I know the team wanted me to hit a home run in that situation, but I really just didn't have time. I went up there and swing at the first pitch I saw that I could hit out.
Oh, well, some of us would have never swung the bat. But for Preston Tucker, a different story. Hits it sharply with that shift on. Right into the teeth of it. And out number one here in the fourth inning. But he just keeps on getting good swings.
Aren't kids cute? I was just going up there trying to hit a homer. That's what they wanted me to do.
You know, you've got to know what the expectations are and live up to them.
Yeah, you got to know your role, I guess.
Colby Rasmus, strikeout victim in the second inning. One of two picked up by Simon. As this is popped on the left side. Castellanos comes over and now overruns it.
That was Iglesias on that shift.
Oh, that's Iglesias. That's right.
But I was watching him looking at the ball, and I was questioning if he picked that ball up off the bat. The ball was skied pretty good, but you see Iglesias just put his head down and go towards the stands. And I think as he was glancing at the stands, lost it.
There's no way that the shortstop moving into the third base positioning right there could have that mess him up on the pop fly.
No, that's what I'm saying. He lost it somewhere.
So Rasmus stays alive. It's a ball and a strike.
He was in shock that it's such a beautiful night here in Detroit.
And it is nice. Although turning a bit chilly right now. We've got the competition now to see who puts the coat on first. I won yesterday, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, you put the coat on. I never did. And
oh, that's true. Yeah, I did. I got a little cold, man. There's a breeze blowing through here. Still got that California skin.
I've been in Houston a long time now, but I've still got a dose of that.
You're just a tough guy.
At this point, I say nothing.
In agreement.
No, I just say nothing. That's all. No agreement whatsoever. 2-2 the count on Colby. Changeup got him. That splitter is a good one. Second time for Colby Rasmus to go down on strikes.
And you can't really see it from the camera angle, but when you're at the plate, it looks like it's going straight down from our view right here behind home plate. But when you're in that left-handed box, it goes down and it's going away. So it's even harder to try and figure out how to square up a good split finger.
With 2 outs, the base is empty. Chris Carter stands in. And you can't help but notice the batting average at 159 and the check swing right here. And it's just not firing on as many cylinders right now for Chris as he would like.
And I think another thing with that camera, Simon really creates really good run in on the hands on right-handed hitters. I think that's why we saw the check swing. I mean, things are not going good for Chris, but that check swing kind of reinforces it. But at the same time, he's got good run on that fastball.
Look, we're not going to play hitting coach up here, but do you see anything at all that catches your eye?
We watch Chris, but we don't. I mean, we don't watch Chris the way the hitting coaches watch Chris Carter, and we don't know the mentality. We have a good idea that he's got a great temperament. He's a good guy and has a lot of good conversation with him. But not only is he getting tough pitches to swing at, that pitch right there is just pretty doggone nasty.
Yep. And like you say, a lot of run on that pitch back to the plate.
How about that?
The appeal has Carter down on strikes. So 4 strikeouts in the night for Simon, and all of them recorded on the 2 Rasmus and Carter.
Jack in the Box takes us inside the box score, and it is the breaking ball from Colin McHugh. We've always known he's had it. He's got a great 12-6er, works it with that high fastball to set it up. And you can see that curve chase percentage in the last 3 seasons continuing to grow. Just tells you he's getting better at command, doing a great job of setting it up. He's not afraid to elevate the fastball early in the count to get to 2 strikes and then throw that hammer to get that big punch out like we saw against Miguel Cabrera.
Little cutter starts things and finds the outside corner. 3-2 Tigers, one very big swing. JD Martinez going the other way in the 3rd inning, a 3-run bomb with 2 outs. The Astros picked up a pair of unearned runs in the 3rd inning against Simon. There's a big swing. It's 0-2. Nick Castellanos at the plate. Flied out to right field in the 2nd inning. Shot into right field. That shift on. And I don't know, as a team, if you get a number of guys who follow suit with a guy like Miguel Cabrera, who seems to shoot at openings at times, but almost feels like maybe some of the Tigers hitters are taking shots.
Well, it's interesting to me, the Rajai Davis hit going the other way, but the pitch is elevated, which is interesting to me. And they're able to get on top of it and go the other way. Because it's tough to get around on a pitch that's up and hook it, because usually you end up popping it up. So they're doing a good job of getting on top of that.
Just watching that replay, the right shoulder of Castellanos really stayed in well. Looked like it was kind of the model of perfection for hitting the ball to right field.
And just kind of top-handed that thing the other way.
So he's aboard for the Tigers, hit number 6 on the night. The Astros have just 3 against Simon. Pitch is popped up on the right side, playable for Carter. And that's out number 1. So Rajai Davis is retired. It brings up the 8-hitter James McCann. You know, we've got a second maybe. We were talking about the home run by JD Martinez. He had slammed a curveball deep and foul down the left field side. And then that mind game goes on. Your thoughts? You think Martinez maybe just won that mind game and guessed what pitch was coming?
That was my initial thought, because when he hit the curveball, it made me think that he was going up there trying to ambush the breaking ball early with runners in scoring position. So he hooked a home run foul. So he stepped out and maybe rethought the situation and said, wow, I just took a pretty good pass at a breaking ball on him. He might try and beat me with his fastball, and sat on that fastball away, got a fastball down the middle and hammered it. And the reason I thought that he might be guessing that fastball is because he crushed that fastball going the other way. Typically, you see a guy maybe overswing and foul it off down the 3rd base line, but he stayed on it so well, made me think that he was looking for it.
Big swing and a miss by McCann. 0-2 the count. Well, you can see that this guy doesn't get cheated, and again, he's the man with the home run, the walk-off yesterday. 6-5, the Tigers won it. But again, a ball game that had the Astros down 5-0, and they battled back and maybe had a chance to have won the ball game in the 8th inning. They had a man at 3rd base and less than 2 outs, but then again the Tigers did as well. Each team failed in that bid to get an extra run in. But you hate to see it happen to your own club and then lose the game. I don't know. I look at this Tiger lineup and still feel like they're a powerful bunch, and yet the stats say that's not the case this year. Stats say the Tigers don't hit the long ball. The home run by Martinez tonight, they're 37th. They're 11th in the league. The Astros on the flip side have 62 and lead the league. Ground ball left side. Can they turn the pair? Altuve will get it. 5-4-3, second double play turned by the defense tonight. So McHugh gets out of the 4th inning, but still 3-2 Tigers. Anderson. 50 years ago today, the first game to be nationally televised from the Astrodome takes place as Willie Mays homers and the Giants beat the Astros on ABC's Game of the Week.
I didn't know they were filming it from the dugout. You see, one of the players had a handheld camera in there. I figured they had better equipment. There we go.
There you go. See, that's just like it looks today, too.
Yeah, that's that portable remote camera that we have at home for Julia.
Did you see they've got the little monitors in the desk?
Nice.
Wow.
High tech. They didn't have GoPros?
GoPros were still weeks before coming out at that point, I think. To the fifth we go. Jason Castro leads it off, followed by Marwin Gonzalez and Jose Altuve. And Jason Castro fouls one down the left side. Already 1 for 1 on the night. Had his 6th double of the year. That came as he led off the 3rd inning. Scored, and it was an unearned run. George Springer drove him home with a double. Now let's see. It was Valbuena's ground ball that brought him home. And that ground ball resulted in an E4. Ian Kinsler charged with the error. Out number 1 as Castro hits it pretty well to left center field. Always good to see Castro putting the barrel to it going the other way. Marwin Gonzalez laid down a sacrifice bunt, and that factored in the scoring in the 3rd inning. Marwin is that sure-handed guy at shortstop right now. Infield has the 3rd baseman Castellanos drawn in at 3rd.
I think there's just from where I sit up here in the quote-unquote analyst seat, I think there's a reason why you might see Marwin Gonzalez a little more consistently playing behind a guy like Colin McHugh or a Dallas Keuchel. Those high ground ball rates. You want to have that sure-handed guy out there in the middle of the diamond making those plays behind those guys. Because these guys aren't afraid. As many strikeouts as Colin McHugh has, he's not afraid to pitch to contact.
No, I think that really is his game. I think the strikeouts are rather incidental, and he gets a lot of those on that curveball.
But that guy right there, it's amazing. His ability to command 3-4 pitches, stay down in the zone and create that much contact while not throwing at a high velocity is pretty impressive.
Yeah, for Dallas Keuchel in particular, he's just become the master painter at this point.
Sure has.
2-1 pitch, line to right field, but it's going to carry and stay up for Martinez, out number 2.
Kick off your weekends at Minute Maid Park with the best Friday night fireworks show in town, presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. The next fireworks spectacular is Friday, May 29th, when the Astros take on the White Sox. For more information, visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
By the way, Dallas Keuchel, an ERA of 1.58 over his last 11 starts. That's not a fluke. Pop fly left side. Castellanos calls off his pitcher and takes it. A 1-2-3 5th inning. We played half a ball game. 3-2 Tigers lead it. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Three-two Tigers. Who was out there on the boat today?
Derek Bell.
Really? I didn't know that. Jose Iglesias leads off for the Tigers here in the 5th inning. Tigers lead on the 3-run home run by J.D. Martinez, his 9th on the year, a 2-out shot in the 3rd inning. Colin McHugh has this one tapped to third. Valbuena with the play on a big hop, and out number 1. You know, I didn't even anticipate that Derek Bell was going to be the answer to that question.
That's why I got to keep you on your toes, Ash.
I'm going to come back down. I actually started to get cold here in the booth. Blummer won it tonight. I have caved in and picked up the coat.
We're all tied up. 1-apiece.
1-1 here in the series. It's a 4-game series, so there's still a lot of time. Top of the order with Anthony Gose. Yeah.
Oh, she's leading. Good grief. Is that Julia? All bundled up.
Multiple coats on right now.
It's usually what Julia looks like in some of these ballparks.
I look like that now.
Ball and a strike. Good curveball.
I'm stealing people's jackets down here.
Are you cold?
I'm so cold. The wind came in. I was doing really well until the wind.
Yeah, that's.
Do you feel the wind up there?
Yeah, I do. Blummer's sitting over there.
Oh, she is bundled up.
He's basking in the warmth, I think.
I can't believe you took that away from that 10-year-old girl.
2 balls and a strike. 92 on the heater from McHugh. So maybe that'll warm things up for Julia a bit. Are you going to make it?
I don't think she's going to make it.
I got another jacket over my legs. My feet are cold.
I hear there could be a pizza delivery coming your way. Fly ball left field. Tucker going back. He's not going to get there. This is one hop up against the wall. Anthony Gose has his 2nd hit of the night as he's into second base. So 1-out double. That'll bring up Ian Kinsler.
Not sure if I haven't been paying attention too much to the Tigers, but Anthony Gose can swing it a little bit.
Well, he came into the series just great numbers, and he is looking like the guy that wants to run with his job for a long time.
Good for him. You love seeing guys take advantage of the opportunities, but saw a fantastic bunt for a base hit earlier. Now he goes oppo over the head of Preston Tucker.
8th double on the year.
Tracking everything down in center field.
Well, wait till you see him throw. I mean, you've seen him run, and he can really
He surprised me with that one.
Yeah.
So I got.
Yeah, he's got a great hose.
Gose has a hose.
You got it.
It's a Gose hose.
The Astros know all about the speed of Anthony Gose. They're going to try to keep him close. You know that Anthony Gose was briefly a member of the Houston Astros?
Was he?
Yep.
Did not know that.
I'm not sure he really knows he was, but.
Was it one of those off-season trades where he was with the team for about 12 hours before being traded?
I'm not sure it lasted that long. 2010, the Phillies had picked him up as a 2nd-round draft pick in 2008, actually. And then in 2010, he was traded by the Phillies with J. Happ and Jonathan VR to the Astros for Roy Oswalt.
Huh.
So he was part of that big Roy O deal.
That was a big deal.
And then immediately turned around and traded to the Blue Jays for, wait for it,
beat
Brett Wallace.
There you go.
I think you're getting fed the information, by the way.
I don't know what
I'm
you're talking about.
I
don't even do these games with an iPad.
Yeah.
Your producer never talks to me.
Okay.
I'm out of it.
I think there's a little bit of a weaseling going on there, but Brett Wallace was the answer. Yeah.
Interesting. Tangled web.
Traded then by the Blue Jays to the Tigers for Devin Travis, who's been really good at second base this year. So that's been quite a path for Anthony Gose. Little ground ball left side. Gose is going to move to third base as Marwin gets the out at first. 2nd out of the inning. Now Gose 90 feet away from Miguel Cabrera.
Got a pitch by pitch. It's going to be presented to you by your Steel dealers. Did a good job. First pitch cutter on that outside corner. Miggy had a good pass at it. Remember, there's a runner on second base. Fastball inside, and then just puts him away with a nasty breaking ball out in front of the zone. Colin McHugh needed the strikeout, got the strikeout.
Miggy's back at the plate. 1 for 2 with a double. Hitting a cool .338. You know, that sounds really impressive. Now stop and think of what the batting champ in the American League hit last year.
What did he hit?
Jose Altuve,
yeah.
.341. That's what we watched all year long with Altuve.
It's a big number.
It's a very big number.
But it felt like he was getting 2 hits every single night.
Every game. You're right. Miggy takes a strike. 0-2 the count.
And that wind must be pretty bad, because you see a guy like Miguel Cabrera wearing the clear shades at home plate.
That's just simply to keep the breeze out of the eyes.
I'm assuming. He's played plenty of baseball here at Comerica. Wonder how often he's worn the clear shades up there, but he's not picking the ball up for whatever reason.
That's why he's just 1 for 2 with a double on the night then.
Explains everything.
Did strike out, and well, not in Miggy style in the 3rd inning, waving at the curveball. McHugh from the stretch. I bet that guessing game is going on between the 2 guys right there.
Yeah, it's good stuff when you get a guy like McHugh constantly having to think on his feet. He's got the stuff to back it up, but a guy like Miguel Cabrera probably didn't take kindly to being struck out on that breaking ball.
See what he comes with here. The curveball is tap foul. That one stayed up a bit for Miggy to be able to handle.
A little extra emphasis on this AB for Miguel too, having that runner at 3rd base and 2 outs. But I think that's an indication of how good McHugh's breaking ball is this evening, and it has been throughout the years, that you can get an excellent big league hitter like Miguel Cabrera just to tap it and strike him out on it earlier.
That one stays inside. By the way, you bring it up, so let's go ahead and go for the answer. Jose Altuve last year in hitting .341 and winning the batting championship. 225 hits. How many times do you think he had multiple hits?
59 times.
69 times. So you were
in the vicinity.
A little bit of Kreskin going on right there, but 69 multi-hit games. And now 3-2 the count. First base open. JD Martinez, though, waiting on deck, so it's a tough choice what you want to do here.
This ball go through his arms. Wow. Ooh. Almost looked as if Miguel was bracing for the hit by pitch, and it somehow missed him.
Probably not a good night to get hit on. It has chillied up here. And right back to the curveball. I don't know that Miguel Cabrera has to grind it quite this hard. Many of his at-bats, it just seems to come so easy to him.
Colin McHugh's got the fastball, cutter, and the curveball that he can locate in this 3-2 count.
And the 3-2 again, the curveball. For Colin McHugh, the next pitch he throws will be number 75. We're in the 5th inning.
It's a good at-bat on both sides by Miguel and Colin.
Did you say McCollin?
Miguel Colin.
10 pitches now in this at-bat. And he misses with the fastball. So on the 11th pitch, Miguel Cabrera draws the walk. He heads on down to first base, and here comes J.D. Martinez with a pair aboard again. Love to know what Miggy's talking about down there, and he almost seemed a little indignant there as he drew the walk and flipped the bat away, and like he felt like he was in a war there with Colin McHugh.
He's probably talking out that at bat with Omar Vizquel right now. I love watching those guys that understand the expectation on them.
Yeah.
When they go up there and have those competitive at bats.
Omar Vizquel, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Little slider, and that's a strike. Well spotted. You know, I saw Ozzie Smith, played a lot against him. Great shortstop. I'm not sure that I would rate him defensively above Omar Vizquel. Half swing fooled on the curveball.
That's a rather bold statement.
It is bold.
But Omar, you can argue that, I would imagine, because Omar was that good.
Look, the conversation brings up only two names. And for me, you know, I realize I've had only my window of seeing Major League Baseball, but those were the two best I ever saw. Breaking ball in the dirt, and there goes Miggy. Throw down, and now coming to the plate, and tagged out is Anthony Gose.
Great play.
So it goes 2-4, back to 2 on the caught stealing, and see if the Tigers try to have this reviewed. It appears for the moment they will not, and a very big out. And Brad Ausmus is asking for a little bit of time here.
That's what it seems like. He's waiting to see what his guys up in the clubhouse say. I think it's the right call.
The out call?
Yes.
It's always tough to tell when the feet get in possibly ahead of the tag, but for the moment it would appear that the Astros get out of the inning, and that is the case. So that is a big caught stealing. We have played 5, 3-2 Tigers.
Fresno team for the Astros. That's John Singleton doing what he's been doing a lot here lately. A 2-run home run for John Singleton. Looking good in AAA. And then Carlos Correa hits another bomb in AAA. Hasn't been in AAA very long either, but he hit that one off Barry Zito, guys. Singleton, though, raising a lot of questions as far as things go up here. Can he help the ball club and the Houston Astros? And A.J. Hinch said as recent as just before the game, said he's making a case, and I believe that he can help us. But he said, you know, with the way we're carrying 13 pitchers at position players crucial, VR being the super utility guy. So he said the room's full right now, but the better he's playing, the more chances he'll give himself to have an opportunity.
Thank you, Julia. First pitch swinging, Luis Valbuena pops out as Iglesias makes the play. Yeah, so look at the numbers of Carlos Correa, who, as Julia said, has only played just about a week's worth of games now, hitting .326. He's already driven in 7. And then there's John Singleton, who has gotten red hot, that batting average up to .295, 13 dingers, 44 ribbies. The last 2 of those categories, minor league leading figures. So these guys have been dynamic, Blummer.
Yeah, you're not going to have to sell me on Carlos Correa. I believe in that kid.
Yeah.
Just a matter of time, but that seasoning is happening pretty quick for him, which is a credit to the talent. And then it's good to see John Singleton go down there and start to tear it up again, maybe get that confidence back, so if and when he does get that call, he can bring it with him.
Springer has the count at a ball and a strike. George is 2 for 2, infield single, and then doubled, hitting a line shot over Anthony Gose's head in center field. That is no easy feat. Curveball right in the hanging zone for Springer as he takes it. Carlos Correa was 2 for 5, 3 ribbies yesterday. John Singleton was 3 for 4 with 3 ribbies. And again, each with home runs. Hot shot on a hop, backing up to make the play. Kinsler, and he'll get Springer. First time tonight as George is 2 for 3. At the end of the previous half inning, let's take a look at that play as Altuve makes the return to the plate.
Pretty heads-up play. Return fire to home plate. And sometimes the impact of that slide will kind of force that lead foot up in the air to kind of catch your balance as you're going onto your backside right there, and that's what led to that out call.
Yeah, you see Jason Castro got that left foot in there. It felt a little bit like years gone by now. Catchers can't block the plate without the ball, but that was a really good job right there.
There it is.
There's your Eavis
We got
pitch.
it.
You've been looking for that all night.
Where's the miles per hour? It didn't even register on the scoreboard out here.
See, there's no way that could be 70 miles an hour. That's what I was.
Yeah.
When I heard Eavis pitch, there's no way. It's going to be more like 40 something.
That was awesome. So you're saying he can't take that on the highway?
Not even close. No. No, that's school zone stuff. Two outs, Evan Gattis at the plate. Yeah, that was really well executed rather, by the Astros. You get the catcher having to make a throw down to second and keep it up so the infielder can get his feet in position to make a good throw back to the plate, and it was all done well.
Yeah, that was textbook.
Evan Gattis hitting 193. Three and one the count.
He's going deep right here. Tie ball game after this pitch.
And Preston Tucker wouldn't mind having a man aboard and take it upon himself because the team needs a home run to do it. Man, that's good. 3-1. Wow,
that was filthy. My bad.
Well, had he gotten the fastball, I think you'd have been right.
Wow. That is some kind of confidence in that pitch.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely nasty.
Pure filth right there.
Man.
Because as a hitter, I mean, you're guessing dead red. There's no way around it.
My chair all of a sudden got real comfortable.
2-out walk. That's the first walk of the night issued now by Simon. Comes in the 6th inning with 2 outs and does bring up Preston Tucker. And there goes Castellanos, the third baseman, into shallow right field. Explain what you just saw there with the open mouth from Vizquel.
I think he was trying to explain with this shift on, and you've got a guy in Evan Gattis who might think about stealing because there's so much space in between a fielder and second base. They're just trying to explain if for some reason Gattis decides to take off towards second, who's got coverage.
Yeah. Open mouth and closed mouth. One means shortstop, one means second baseman, typically, right?
Well, the closed mouth is me, because if you say the letter M, your mouth is closed. And if you say U, it has an O in it.
But I don't think Omar is going to cover. So, I bet
you Brad Ausmus wishes he would.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that one at all. Preston Tucker 0 for 2 on the night. Well, that pitch is certainly possible to be thrown in any count.
He's got a feel for it, doesn't he? And I guarantee you what Preston Tucker did last night is warranting some of those split fingers right now.
Preston will not see the Ephus pitch here, I would say. Ground ball right side, normally in the hole, shift on, and nothing but a 4-3. Make that a 5-3. That'll do it in the 6th inning. 3-2 Tigers.
JD Martinez, we saw that blast. Hit a pretty good at bat, both mentally and physically. Hit a home run foul to left field, and then proceeded to take that fastball out over the right field fence for a home run against Colin McHugh for a 3-run jack. And you see the career profile on JD. 2011 and 2013, he was an Astro. Played 252 games, 24 bombs. How about he goes to a bigger ballpark and puts up bigger power numbers?
Also got kind of a big brother buddy in Miguel Cabrera.
I think there's something to be said for that,
I do too. I do too. You know, you can have a hitting coach and they may know exactly what they're talking about, and it may not click, and then all of a sudden you get to kind of see and listen from a guy like Cabrera, and I don't know, maybe it just becomes what you need.
Well, you get a chance to be in a lineup. Now he's hitting behind him with Victor Martinez out of there. You get a chance to sit behind a guy and see how he's pitched, see how he goes about his business on a daily basis, watch every at bat. And then you get to go back in the dugout and pick his brain a little bit and see what's going on, which is even better.
You know, it never hurts to go sit down and say, what did you see in my last at bat? Is that close to what you're talking about? And, you know, you kind of work through it, and I don't know, whatever it is, it has certainly worked for JD Martinez. Chris Carter in pursuit and can't quite get there.
It's a tough play over there with that tarp coming into play.
You don't know the field. It's a fairly sizable foul territory.
It is, and you want to keep going over there, but if you look where he's going, he probably out of the corner of his eye saw that tarp and he pulled up a little bit.
It's no Oakland, but just trying to size up things. I would say the grass is about where the seats are in Houston. Would you say somewhere in that vicinity?
I think Houston may be a little bit closer
than the grass.
They might be right on that edge of the grass, yeah. So there's a good extra 15 feet here at Comerica.
0-2. Wide open right side. And to my eye, looked like he's just shooting right at it.
what you're taught when you're getting to a 2-strike count, is to let that ball get deep. Good grief.
Julia, you got some pizza.
I was trying to keep score but eat at the same time, and you guys got me.
The crusher.
How much do you have to tip the delivery guy for that?
Oh, I didn't tip them. I don't know where it came from, honestly. It just kind of landed in my lap, to be honest with you.
Give us that phone number when
Wow, you're doing
with
good
this
work.
half inning. Way to go.
And I'm not sharing.
Hey, I guess I'm reading the next 5 promos.
Nobody out for Cespedes. Tapper on the left side. Valbuena will get an out at second. That's all they'll get. Cespedes runs pretty well down the line, so 1 out on the fielder's choice as Martinez is erased. No, I feel like Julia just gets preferential treatment.
Wait, where's your pizza? You have pizza up
What
there.
are you talking about, Julia?
Come on.
Who told you that?
Oh, come on. I know you guys have been taken care of up there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There we go.
We've been sitting here for 5 hours grinding, getting ready for this game. And Julia slams pizza down there. Castellanos at the plate, 1 for 2 on the evening. Blummer, did you get pizza?
This microphone gets in the way.
Wow. Nice work on your part. Castellanos 1 for 2. Hammers one left field, but Tucker playing in that spot. And 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Colin McHugh has been really good, but for one very big pitch hit out by J.D. Martinez in the 3rd inning.
All Colin McHugh has to do is hold on to this game right now and get the Astros back in the dugout in the 7th inning or later and see what happens.
Very good point. We talked about it on the pregame show, but it's been an amazing aspect of this team. Rajai Davis at the plate, 1 for 2. Tigers have 8 hits. The Astros just 3 on the evening. Davis shows bunt. With Rajai Davis and Anthony Gose, and then go ahead and put Ian Kinsler in that category. I don't know if Iglesias burns quite like those guys, but they've got some speed.
Iglesias is one of those works in progress. He's got the speed to steal.
Nonetheless, the Astros continue to lead the league in stolen bases, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers make a pretty good run at that. Pitch is fouled off the first base side. 2-1 the count. You know what? I'm going to revise that statement. The Tigers have caught the Astros in that stolen base category.
How about that?
Been talking about it so much over the course of the first quarter of the season. The Astros easy leaders, but yeah, watch out for the Tigers. Fly ball right center field. Colby Rasmus to his left and makes the play. That'll do it for the Tigers in the 6th inning. We have played 6. Tigers lead, but Julia Morales is hard charging.
schedule presented by Progressive. This is game 2 of a 4-game set, so 2 more here in Detroit as we wrap up Memorial Day weekend. Monday, go to Baltimore, have a day game there with Memorial Day, and then go back home for White Sox in Baltimore again, and then Toronto. Wow, that's a Toronto-Chicago trip, I believe. June 5th and 6th, the beginning of that one, guys.
Yeah, the Astros going to find it's just hard work for 6 months. But what a great start they've gotten off to. And again, that lead in the American League West. Number 1, surprising, but I guess number 2, and most importantly, it provides them that cushion. I don't know that they want to look at it that way right now, but 5.5 games in front of the second place Angels. Drive down the right field side goes foul to the seats, and that ball was juiced. Colby Rasmus leading off here in the 7th inning. It's swing it time now, Blummer.
Yeah, it is. They've got that dial. They're turning it on right now in the 7th. Colby just got a little quick on that. He finally got himself a hanging split, just a hair too quick, or else this game would have been tied up.
Simon has worked 6 innings not allowing an earned run, the 2 runs unearned against him. Colin McHugh, all 3 runs earned, but he's pitched well. For Colin, that ERA presently at 4.13. It's turned into a rather cold evening now. Rasmus, Carter, and Castro for Houston here in the 7th. 2-2 the count. I've seen that 83 miles an hour a number of times tonight on that splitting. Here's Colin all bundled up. Colin with 89 pitches on the evening. Simon is right in that ballpark. He, in fact, right at 89. Splitter hammered, but again hooked foul. And a roast
on that thing.
The sound was pure. That's exactly what you look for.
He's getting his hands back and keeping him there nicely. Not even sure he's seen a fastball all day long.
Colby's got that gloveless look as well. Be tough on a night like tonight. The 2-2 gets a piece again. Was that commentary from Simon?
Yes. That was a Spanish word I'm not going to repeat.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that. And I don't think I would take too kindly as a hitter to listening to a pitcher holler that out.
I don't think he was hollering it in the direction of Colby. I think it was more, well, yelling at himself.
Granted, but
the old Jake Peavy,
yeah,
scream at yourself the entire game.
3-2. The Astros could use a base runner. And they had a chance at one right there. That bat kind of came a little too far and making contact there, Rasmus. It stays at 3-2.
Finally got himself a fastball in that 2-2 count.
I think Simon wants a new baseball.
He wants that split finger ball. We've seen him throw it in that 3-2 count. We've seen him throw it in a 2-0 count, 3-1 count. He's not afraid to go after that thing.
Yeah, he's a hard guy to ever dead red.
There he goes. He shook off it to go to the fastball inside.
And he brings the heat at 93. So he's got some legitimate stuff.
He does. Nice relaxed whip to that arm.
Out number 1 here in the 7th inning, and Rasmus 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs.
It's a good at bat, even though fouled off some tough pitches, but you see so many split fingers in a row or pitches around 83, 85 miles an hour. Makes that 93 look like 103.
5 strikeouts for Simon, all 5 between Rasmus and Carter. And now Carter with an 0-1 count.
You know, you're talking about Collins' pitch count being at 89. He only has 2 strikeouts on the evening.
So it can be pretty beneficial for Colin. He also has a couple of double plays behind him. He's had that double steal attempt where an out was recorded at the plate. So those help out.
Well, it kind of plays into what's been successful for the Houston Astros is quality pitching, quality defense.
You know, you hear that a lot during spring training. Pitching and defense go hand in hand, and let's get it done this year. And well, that's what the team's doing this year.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in pitching, defense, and timely hitting, and that's what you've seen from the Astros early on. And I think that's why they are in first place. You see the batting average as a team last in the American League, yet they do get that timely big hit to put them over the top and take advantage of good pitching.
You know, I don't know the answer for this, but can you think of a team that has been at the bottom of the heap in hitting and yet won a league?
That's out of my pay grade.
Yeah, that out of mine as well.
People that can figure that out. It would be interesting to see, though. High run producing teams, yet the batting average is low. Because we saw, was it 2 years ago, the St. Louis Cardinals that had that astronomical number with runners in scoring position?
Something like 328 or something
well
at the end of the year.
300.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Well, you know, and we talked about it at the time. That's the sort of thing that tends to turn around the other way by the next year. And it did for the Cardinals last year. Yeah. Of course, I think they're back at nothing like the 300 plus, but
still pretty successful.
It's an amazing organization. 3-2 the count. Once again, Colby Rasmus struck out on a 3-2. This splitter hit high in the air and fairly deep to right field, but room for Martinez, who makes the catch. 2 down in the 7th inning.
The Biggio Hall of Fame 7-game ticket package offers great matchups, including the Yankees, Tigers, and Dodgers. Be there for the anniversary of Biggio's 3,000th hit, Biggio Weekend, and more. To purchase tickets, visit Astros.com/Biggio, HOF, or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Jason Castro has a double in 2 at-bats. That double is 6th on the year. Came in the 3rd inning. Then he hit a ball pretty well to left center field as he flied out to left in the 5th inning. Strike called inside edge.
It's 101 pitches now for Simon.
Could be the end of the line for Simon after this inning. Ball and a strike. Let's check in on the Tigers and see what they're doing with their bullpen this year. They've been pretty good. 4th in the league. It's Kansas City, Houston, the Yankees, and Tigers at the top of the heap in terms of ERA for bullpens. So not an easy road, as we guess. Gorzolani, the left-hander, getting loose.
Nesbitt, the right-hander.
We saw Nesbitt in yesterday's game.
How about the dynamic duo for the New York Yankees, Betances and Miller?
Unhittable, almost.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for a Zimmerman home run, you could say unhittable.
You know, here we go talking about it again. Does great bullpen equate to a strong team?
I think so, because they can. If you have a strong bullpen and you got a lead late in the game, and you can close that thing out, that's a huge bonus.
You know who's in first place in the American League East? Don't go cheating now.
The Tokyo Giants.
They are not in first place, but
I was close.
They're coming on strong. Tampa Bay is in first place.
Yeah, they've been playing good, even with all the injuries they've had.
Brad Ausmus would have known the answer to that question.
He went to Cal of the East.
Yes, he did. He's an Ivy Leaguer. Tampa Bay has a half-game lead on the Yankees. There's 2 teams that I probably would have picked at the bottom of that division.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. That whole division's pretty much slammed up. I mean, there's about 4.5 games between top and bottom.
That's right. 4.5 games. We're going to see Baltimore here in a few days. Baltimore in 3rd, Boston 3.5 back and forth. That could go any way. Line shot into right field. That splitter stays up and almost handled by the third baseman. It's getting kind of crazy.
Sounds kind of natural.
Yeah. It comes right out of the mouth easily.
There's a handful of bees. I think the splitter may have split the bat for Castro. Didn't sound too solid off the bat. Got it kind of off the end. But again, that hanger, he manages to find a hole out there.
2 for 3 on the night. So he's aboard now for 9-hitter Marwin Gonzalez.
Uh-oh. The Manny Mota stick.
There's your American League East. Toronto Blue Jays lost a 4-game series with the Astros, and that's what has them at the bottom.
Pretty immediate effect.
Game 43 for both of these clubs, the Astros and the Tigers. Marwin with a sac bunt. He's also lined to right field. Need one of those long balls. 2 of them on the year for Marwin.
Make a mistake on that inner third. He could snap one out of here.
He's quick. Ball and a strike. 2 runs, 4 hits for Houston. 3 runs, 8 hits, and an error. And it was a costly one for the Tigers. Led to 2 unearned runs against Simon. Marwin fouls it to the seats.
That was the one.
And now 1-2 the count.
Marwin gave it a shot right there. Got that fastball he was looking for. Hands are back. He was ready. Unleashed right through it.
By the way, that error committed by the Tigers, Ian Kinsler, just his 2nd on the year. So it's a break you don't often catch with Detroit. When you get one, you want to take advantage. Does he bring the splitter on his 110th pitch? He does. And Marwin just gets a piece and spoils. How far does Brad Ausmus go with Simon here?
He desperately wants Simon to get out of this inning.
Now, when you go to your mouth anymore, it's fine on the mound, but you're supposed to wipe your fingers off on your uniform. I don't know that I saw Simon do it right there. One and 2. Pop fly. And will stay in play. Castellanos with the catch. And that does it for Houston. They strand Castro, who singles with 2 outs. Still down a run.
yesterday. The Astros falling in the 11th. James McCann sent Tony Sipp's pitch out for the walk-off home run. His first. Sipp was facing the righty in that situation. We've seen Sipp for three straight days. Here's Sipp with our Geico quote of the day.
I think I've used all my luck up with as far as like robbing home runs, but you know, he put a good swing on it, and I knew it had a really good chance. But you know, I was just praying for the best, but you know, obviously got it a little better than what I thought.
It's tough luck for Sipp there, and you heard him talk about luck. George Springer helping him out back on April 12th against the Texas Rangers, robbing the Rangers of a grand slam that would have won the game. In that particular one, Sipp said he owed him one for sure there, but not the case yesterday. No one there to save him yesterday, but Sipp feeling okay about what happened. I would just like to kind of move on from that, guys.
Good stuff, Julia. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Tigers up by a run, 3-2. J.D. Martinez, the difference maker. 3-run home run on the night. 8-9-1 coming up for the Tigers. Yesterday's hero, James McCann, at the plate, has grounded into 2 double plays. And the Tigers are a team that has certainly been bitten by the double play this year. They have grounded into a load of them.
46.
And now it's Jabba. So he will be out there for the 8th inning. And a leadoff single. 1 for 3 is James McCann. One more, Skip. Come on.
Please.
No, I just want your hand, big guy. Big Pasta wanted more sauce, but doesn't get it.
He had plenty of Alfredo sauce on that pitch tonight.
Nobody out for Jose Iglesias. Do the Tigers try to play for a run right here? Maybe sacrifice bunt. Not likely the hit and run. And the bunt back toward the hill. Colin with a play at second base. They'll get the lead out. That's a big out to get at second.
Always want to get that lead runner. No offense, Ash, but catcher at first base. Ball bunted directly back to the pitcher. Colin, a pretty good athlete. Makes the play. Didn't even think twice. Gunned it to Marlin.
None taken and reality accepted. 1 out. Iglesias with speed at first base for Anthony Gose. Boy, Iglesias is turning into quite a player. Hitting .333. He goes, and not even close on the attempt to get him. So the Tigers are now leading the league in stolen bases with this one for Iglesias. That is his 7th in 8 tries for the Tigers. That's number 40. They've been caught 12 times. Make that 13 with a caught stealing tonight. Yeah, they've got at least 3 guys, maybe 4 in their starting lineup that can flat go get it. Strike is called. A ball and a strike on Gose, who is 2 for 3 on the night. Gose fooled. It's 1-2. This is a guy who really hadn't proven himself at all, and now has made himself look like a legitimate, very good center fielder for the Tigers. .333 the batting average. Iglesias at .325. Miguel at .338. Ian Kinsler .304. Then there's Yoenis Cespedes, who started the night at .300. So, I mean, they've got some guys who can make it a long evening for anybody on the mound. Pitch gets a ground ball to Altuve. Nice little play on what could be a tough in-between hop. Second out, it brings up Ian Kinsler.
Whether treating your employees, hosting clients, or celebrating a special occasion, we will create an experience your group is sure to remember with an Astros luxury suite at Minute Maid Park. Call the Astros premium ticket line at 1-877-9-ASTROS and reserve your luxury suite today.
Okay, so we just talked about all the hitting for the Tigers. Big at bat right here, by the way, for Ian Kinsler. Colin McHugh could use an out here. Astros and Tigers, who's scoring more runs? The Astros have averaged just a notch above the Tigers this year.
Didn't even give me a chance.
Well, I knew you had it. I saw you already. You had written down Stros there, and so
it's a pretty good number.
How's that possible?
Homers.
Home runs. The Astros coming into the night had scored 2 more runs than the Tigers.
Wow.
Toronto leading the league by a wide margin, by the way. Kansas City second, and then Houston. I'm going to change that. 3 runs over the Tigers. But, I mean, it's hard to figure sometimes.
Tigers lead in batting average and on-base percentage.
Two and 1 the count. Kansas City leads the league in batting average at .288, followed by the Tigers. Boy, time to take a look at the batting averages for the Kansas City Royals. When you see this list of numbers up for the Tigers, hard to figure. KC, Detroit, Baltimore, Toronto, Minnesota, and on and on. The Astros dead last in the league at .230. There's a strike called, and 3-2, so it's filled. Keep in mind Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck.
Good pitch. As a hitter in a 3-1 count, you're looking for that fastball, but you don't anticipate that late cut.
Good swing by Kinsler as he fouls it. 104 pitches for Colin. So you figure that McHugh is right at the end of his line. Nobody throwing yet in the Astros pen.
Yeah, I think they're fully anticipating him getting through this inning. It's his.
Pitch is hammered. Left field side. Again watching at the pole, and again it goes foul. That was the story for J.D. Martinez early in the ball game. It was the 3rd inning. He crushed a curveball foul just outside the pole, and then on the very next pitch got a fastball and drove it out to right field. 3-run bomb, and that's the difference maker on the night. (3-2) again. Ground ball right side. Carter with the play, and he'll take it to the bag, and that'll do it. So McHugh gets out of the 7th inning and keeps it at a 1-run game as we go to the 8th.
Kubota. And it is the big pasta, Alfredo Simon, doing work tonight with that fastball slider split finger combination. Had a great run on that fastball, but it was really that split finger again that was going after these Astro hitters. And unfortunately for Colby Rasmus and Chris Carter, they took the brunt of it. But Brad Ausmus makes the call and gets him out of that game, even though that Alfredo wanted to stay in there for a little bit while longer. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were both unearned due to that Ian Kinsler error. Struck out 5. And Miguel's going over there and saying, son, you pitched great. Go ahead and take the handshake and enjoy your night.
And now Jabba Chamberlain takes over on the hill, 8th inning. And he'll face the top of the order for the Astros. And there are the numbers for Jabba. I say get some lefties up there against him.
Not too shabby on the right-handed side either.
No.
Throws a lot of sliders. It's amazing that those numbers are that high as far as the batting average. They get on base, but he doesn't let them in. ERA at 1.6 or 1.50.
Yeah, those numbers.
How do you have a 1.5 with a whip of 1.67?
Yeah, that's not going to last. And the Astros would love to continue with some of those backup numbers, those ancillary numbers, whatever you want to call them, that probably mean more than the ERA right now. Jose Altuve is dangerously close to the 200s. He's hitting .301. Chad Qualls gets loose for the Astros. So again, a good night for Colin McHugh, but one pitch left the yard. Well, wow. I think in 3 years that's the worst swing I've seen from Jose Altuve.
I would say it's the worst swing and miss I've seen from Jose Altuve, because I've seen some pretty bad swings for hits.
Yeah, you're right.
But that was wild.
1-2 the count. Ground ball hit at Kinsler. He'll take his time and get the out. Number 1 here in the 8th inning. So if you're going to make that late inning magic stand up here tonight, got to get something going. The 2-hitter Valbuena at the plate.
Well, it's the right part of the lineup against the right pitcher, I would say, if you looked at the numbers. Astros swing well late in games, and you got Jabba Chamberlain out there who gives up a lot of hits.
Now this is really the time to take advantage. Shift on for Detroit. Luis leads the club with his 10 home runs. Astros wouldn't mind seeing him extend that lead. His last home run came on May 17th in that final game against the Blue Jays. But he's also had 3 homers over his last 8 games, so it's been steady. Has a 2-1 count. Is that a fastball count here against Chamberlain?
I think Chamberlain's trying to figure that out.
Comes with the breaking ball. And now 3-1.
Get it ready.
George Springer waiting on deck. George looking good tonight. Even the out he made was Good swing, solid contact. Fastball to handle and hit pretty well, but not well enough. Cespedes has circled under. That's 2 outs here in the 8th.
Show us where you root for the Astros and win great prizes from the Astros and Root Sports. Post your pictures with Orbit on social media and tag the Astros and your cable or satellite provider and use the hashtag #WhereIsOrbit. Head to astros.com/whereIsOrbit for more information.
Where is the long ball? That's what I want to know right now.
How about putting a ball into orbit?
Springer sees the breaking ball. Is that the slider? Because that's a
I think
pretty
it's a
good size slider.
Yeah.
215 the season average. 6 dingers. It's been a while. Fooled a bit. It's 1-1. Do the hitters start thinking long ball maybe too much at this stage?
No, I think as a hitter, especially if you've got some pop, and you've been in situations where you realize that you have a chance to tie a ball game up, and this is one of those situations where 2 outs, nobody on, and you got pop like George Springer. And we've heard A.J. Hinch talk about how these guys are trying to lay off some borderline pitches and get a pitch they can drive. This is definitely one of those spots right here where you would like to see him get a pitch up in the zone and kill it.
Springer's last home run came May 16th, game 2 against the Blue Jays. Also hit one in the second game against the Giants, and both of those coming on the recent homestand. Hit one against the Giants you saw, but that was a rocket to left center field.
Has a seed.
2-2 count. And now 3-2. Evan Gattis waits on deck.
If you're wearing an Astros uniform, aren't you? I mean, you're thinking of home runs quite a bit because they've already got some on the season, so they know the ability is there.
Slider is fouled.
Java was not happy that he let that pitch go. He was upset. He got away with one right there. Springer took a good swipe at that one.
Slider that stayed up a bit, and maybe a pitch that George could replicate the home run that he hit to right field last year.
Yeah, just go with it.
But another slider gets it. So Java wins the war, has a 1-2-3 8th inning. Tigers still on top.
defense. A lot of double plays on the season. They've got good pitchers on the mound who aren't afraid to pitch to contact, so they are on their toes behind those pitchers, getting big outs when they need them. And you look on that bottom line, that fielding percentage is continually getting better. And that's what you want to see. You get a good starting staff. You've got good relievers. You got to have that defense behind them, taking advantage of those balls that they can make outs on. And that's led to a lot of the success. Earlier in the game, we saw Goes try and steal home. Castro in perfect position to receive that throw from Altuve. Puts the tag on him, keeping that game at a 3-2 lead for the Tigers.
And now it's Chad Qualls here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Trying to hold it right here. Tigers lead by a run, 3-2. 18th outing on the year for Chad.
Good numbers, tough on lefties, power sinker, power slider.
Fastball hit fair over the bag at first base and down the line. It's going to result in a single for Miguel Cabrera as George Springer able to come on quickly, though he dropped the ball. Cabrera seemed fooled at the plate as if he wasn't sure it was a fair ball.
It was almost an excuse me swing too, but we've seen him go the other way, but this is pretty extreme. This is a good look at it down that first base line. Hunter Wendelstedt calling that it bounced over a portion of that first base bag.
So Cabrera with his second hit. He's 2 for 3 on the night. Each one of those hits coming to right field. He's also drawn a walk. And now JD Martinez. He's reached all 3 times tonight. One of those times he didn't stay on very long. 3rd inning, opposite field home run, a 3-run job, counting all 4 of the Tigers' runs on the evening. Wide open right side of the infield. Both Martinez hits tonight have gone to right field. Let's see if he takes another shot in that direction. JD Martinez hitting .268. Well, you can't go to right field with that pitch very well. Tigers have a right-hander throwing in their pen. It is Joakim Soria, their closer, who had his first blown save of the year in yesterday's game, and yet the Tigers won it. Preston Tucker took care of business. And now 2-2 the count. The 3-4-5 hitters for the Tigers, really tough. Miguel Cabrera, JD Martinez, Yoenis Cespedes. Victor Martinez is missing in action on the DL. Otherwise, it gets all the tougher. And got him on strikes. So they get JD for the first time tonight. That's 1 out here in the 8th.
Time now for a pitch by pitch, brought to you by your local steel dealers. McHugh Cespedes matchup. Start him off with a cutter on the outside corner. Try and beat him with the fastball in the same spot. And then just throw that hammer when you get ahead on that 0-2 count. Had the answer for Cespedes on that at bat. Second strikeout for Colin McHugh, and he still only has 2 on the evening.
The strikeout by Qualls, just the 3rd strikeout, as Blummer says, for Astros pitching tonight. Now Cespedes takes a strike. With the 0 for 3 night, that batting average that was, as we were mentioning, at 300 at the start of play tonight is now down to 294. Again, that shift on, so the right side wide open. And 0-2 the count. And it's felt like that Cespedes was taking all the way on those pitches.
I'm not sure if he's not picking the ball up or guessing wrong. And I think if Qualls is able to get him out right here, that possibly may end a 9-game streak that he's been getting on base.
Ground ball under the glove of Valbuena and down the line. Miguel digs for third base. Into second is Cespedes. It'll be a one-out double. And a ground ball that Valbuena has made the play on numerous times this year.
Try to go to that slider. Yeah, that's a play we normally see Valbuena make. Actually, I was curious. That's the angle I wanted to see. That was a great shot. You could see the footwork. I thought maybe he got caught off balance, but he looked like he had a pretty good jump at it. And much like a ball slicing off a guy's bat going towards the line, sometimes those right-handed hitters can roll over a ball like that, and it continues to just run away from you. He just didn't get extended enough to be able to make the play.
That brings the infield in for the Astros. Nick Castellanos at the plate, 1 for 3, had a 4th inning single. And Qualls in a tough spot. Tigers trying to take the first 2 games of this 4-game set. Slider, and Qualls got on top of that very nicely. Castellanos 2 for 4 in yesterday's game with a triple and 4 big arm. Well, let's see. Let's check that a little more closely. Internet never messes anybody up, does it?
The internet never lies.
Same slider, this time a swing. It's 1-2. A strikeout would play very well for Chad Qualls and the Stros right here. Well, they have ruled that an E5 on that ground ball hit by Cespedes. That's some tough home scoring right there. Now, yes, we've seen Valbuena make that play, but I think an agent might get involved there.
I think there's going to be a DVD and a note from Brad Ausmus or Wally Joyner being sent to the league office.
Does it come from the manager and
I think
it's not the agents now?
I'm not sure. I think that they have to formally send it up there and ask him.
And down on strikes, Castellanos. That's a big one. 2 strikeouts in the inning now for Chad Qualls. And let's check in with Julia once again.
Thank you, Ash. Make sure to follow the Astros all season with MLB.com at BAT, the #1 app for live baseball. At BAT is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at BAT for your smartphone or tablet. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. How was that pizza?
Delicious and warm.
Yeah, that probably is the key this evening, isn't it?
Exactly.
Now big key, Rajai Davis 1 for 3, hits a ground ball left side. This is going to be tough. Marlin with the play, and it's not in time. A run scores, and that's a big run. Tigers now lead by 2 as Cabrera touches the plate again. It's 4-2 Tigers. Infield single, Rajai Davis.
Marwin Gonzalez made that play a heck of a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Rajai Davis runs extremely well, but what an excellent job by Marwin Gonzalez to get around that ball and create his momentum going towards first on that throw he made on the run. Great play. He made Rajai Davis earn that one.
I completely agree. I thought it was going to be not even contested at first. So now you've got first and third. You've got Rajai Davis with that speed and desire to steal bags at first. How do you play it if he takes off?
Cespedes at third. I'm letting him go, and I'm going to attack the hitter.
It's tough because you hate to have two guys in scoring position, but it's very tough to throw out Rajai Davis under the best of circumstances. He goes. They will throw down, not in time, but not coming from third base is Cespedes. So that's a good ploy if you feel like you can hold that guy at third base. It is a stolen base for Rajai Davis.
I don't think there was ever any intent on Cespedes' part to go home on that play. I think they were going to let Rajai go ahead and steal that base on his own.
His 11th on the year. He's 11 of 12. And so with that kind of speed at second base, a base hit now is a 2-run job. And that would be really hard for the Astros to deal with. And a ground ball up the middle is going to provide those 2 runs. 2-run single by James McCann, and he is tearing the Astros up so far in the series. It is 6-2 Detroit.
Sinker left up in the zone. That was just a good piece of hitting on McCann's part. Like you said, swinging the bat well. Here of late, game-winning home run last night. This ball, middle in, up in the zone. Does a good job of staying through that ball up the middle, not trying to do too much, and taking advantage of that stolen base by Rajai Davis.
1 run in this inning for the Tigers was big. 3.
Insurmountable?
Yeah, well, you don't want to go quite that far, but it's going to be tough. Yeah. Jose Iglesias, the 9-hitter, who, by the way, is hitting .325 and 1 for 3 on the night. Also has a stolen base. Tigers have picked up 2 more bags. They are now the #1 thievery team in the league. Alex Avila is the everyday catcher for the Tigers. He's on the DL, so James McCann gets a chance. Has the game-winning home run yesterday. 2 for 4 tonight with 2 RBIs. And that'll do it as Iglesias strikes out. But the Tigers pick up 3 very big runs in the 9th inning, lead it 6-2. Book your low fare right now at southwest.com. The Astros have their hands full right now. They trail 6-2 after a 3-run 8th inning for the Tigers. And because of the score's decision to rule that an E5 on the Cespedes ball, all 3 runs unearned in the inning. at least for the moment. And Valbuena is thinking something over.
It's a tough error. Well, I'm sure he's disappointed in himself. He's been making spectacular plays all year long at third base. It's going to happen sometimes where you're unable to get to that.
Tom Gorzelani comes on as he works now the 9th inning. It is not a save situation with the 4-run lead.
We've got some guys that can thump the ball out of the ballpark, and we know we cannot take a nap on the Houston Astros no matter the lead. They have a tendency to do their damage late in games, but this is their last chance.
Evan Gattis tries to get it started. Pair of 3-run innings on the evening for the Tigers. 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 8th inning. That means 5 of the runs scored between the two clubs tonight have been unearned. And there are only 2 errors up on the board.
You said it earlier when that first error was made. Good teams take advantage of those errors given to them. If you give a major league team extra outs, it's a good chance they're going to take advantage of it.
2-1 the count. Gorzelani from the stretch. Pitch hit high and deep left field. Going back at the track, Cespedes to make the play, and that is out number 1. By the way, defensively, the Tigers have Andrew Romine now at third base, taking over for Castellanos.
Even with the fences moved in here from the original Comerica Park, it's still a bomb to get it out to left field.
One out in the 9th. Preston Tucker, or rather Jonathan Villar, who took over defensively for Preston Tucker in left field. Villar now bats in the 9th inning. Jake Marisnick has grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. Ground ball left side, backhanded. Iglesias with the long throw, and it's dug out by Cabrera. Nice play to get Villar. And the second out here in the 9th inning.
Shortstop on shortstop crime. Good play. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
And another peek at it. Nice play on both ends. That's Jake Marisnick as he pinch hits with 2 outs. This is the Chris Carter spot in the order. Carter went 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Marisnick fouls it on the right side. Yes, I've jumped ahead a little bit. This is the Colby Rasmus spot in the order. Carter waits on deck. Again, pop foul right side, back to the seats. And now 1-2 on Marisnick. Jake hitting .289. He's had a nice start to the year. 3 homers, 16 RBIs, but right now it's all about getting on base. a strike. Tigers fans on their feet. And just getting a piece and spoiling is Marisnick.
Come off the bench, cold night, take a couple swings and foul it off. Facing a guy like Gorzolani. You're almost feeling loose right now, even though it's a 1-2 count for Jake.
Another one of those stats on the line for the Astros. They scored first tonight, and they will lose and fall to 18-3 in that category as Marisnick goes down on strikes. A 1-2-3 ninth inning as Gorzolani mows through the order, and that'll do it. The Tigers put 6 on the board and win 6-2 over the Astros and take the first 2 of the series.